everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Glitzos, known as a wood tinkerer. Welcome to build 3 of my 1930s Crescent joint planer. I'm very proud of this particular rebuild. It was a straightforward build, to say the least. They made them extremely simple back in the days. Bearings have been replaced. I did have to bring the outside 1/1000th of an inch up, which actually putting a straight ruler off of here and see if there's any air gap onto the barrel, and it was about 1/1000th of an inch low, so I raised it. Other than that, the next process for build 4 is attaching the motor, the electrical, and putting and adjusting the blades. Well, with no further ado, let me show you how this rebuild or putting this nice jointed together on the process. And like I said, I'm extremely happy the way it came out.
I am installing a plate which is part of the chute, which allows the clippings to fall down into a basket. I do not have that basket or tray, but that will be installed at a later date. On the moving parts, I'm using a very good quality axle grease. It's heat resistant and also water resistant. This will ensure minimum amount of maintenance for years to come. I am assembling the handles for the right and left platform, which will control the height of the blade. I need to clean the tracks from the cradle that holds the right and left platform up and down. I'm applying a generous amount of grease to ensure a freedom of movement. Assembling the cradle is easy. The spindle that allows for the right and left platform to travel is controlled by one bolt. I am installing these S plates with a ton of grease and a bolt that will keep the right and left platform on the track. The knobs carry a secondary nut, which once you tighten it against the knob, it will keep the knob from spinning in circles, kind of like a lock nut. Installing the rest of the pressure plates with enough grease for movement. Once the right and left platform is assembled onto the cradle, be careful, it is heavy. Align the platform on top of the base. I am removing the masking tape, and you could see the nice clear painted lines. I am installing the vertical platform, and I am going to start assembling the vertical guide that keeps the wood in a 90-degree angle or any other degree angle as needed. Time for a test run to ensure that all the parts move freely. And they do. I am installing a sacrificial piece. Believe it or not, it is very hard but soft at the same time. This will ensure that it will save the blades in case it does have contact. I am installing the new bearings. This is easy. You don't really need a press, a nice softwood, and a nice mallet. A good socket about the same diameter will ensure that the bearings fit as tight as possible and as deep as possible. Once we have the bearings set in their own housing, use the bolt to tighten up the inner race of the bearing onto the main shaft. You can also use an appropriate socket, a long socket, to force it into place. Give a good long spin. Make sure that the bearings run nice and smooth with no noise whatsoever. They should be friction free. Align the cutting barrel with the platform opening. As you are tightening it, give it a spin once in a while. Make sure it's lined up. If it is not, you will have friction. Friction will cause more wear and tear on the bearings, and the life expectancy will be at a minimal. Installing the oil-filled 90-degree ports, make sure that they are facing straight up. These bearing housings did not have any gaskets. I bought a gasket kit so I can make my own gaskets to prevent the oil from spilling out. Just trace the outline of the flange and then cut it with a scissor. Tighten every screw one at a time and evenly to ensure that the gasket does not crack or open up as you are tightening it. And this concludes our part 3 of the 1930s plane or jointer. What is left is the knife installation, the electrical, and the platform and the motor coupling. This will be on the last number 4 video of this series.